Titanic. The Titanic was a British passenger liner that famously sank in the North Atlantic Ocean on April 15, 1912, during its maiden voyage from Southampton, England to New York City, USA. The ship was designed to be one of the most luxurious and technologically advanced of its time, with amenities such as a swimming pool, gymnasium, and grand staircase. However, disaster struck when the Titanic struck an iceberg and began to sink. Despite the efforts of the crew and passengers to evacuate the ship, more than 1,500 people lost their lives in the tragedy. The sinking of the Titanic remains one of the most well-known maritime disasters in history and has been the subject of numerous books, films, and documentaries. The disaster led to significant changes in maritime safety regulations and procedures, including the requirement for ships to carry enough lifeboats for all passengers and crew. Construction, launch and fitting out. The sheer size of Titanic and her sister ships posed a major engineering challenge for Harland and Wolff. No shipbuilder had ever before attempted to construct vessels this size. The ships were constructed on Queen's Island, now known as the Titanic Quarter, in Belfast Harbour. Harland and Wolff had to demolish 3 existing slipways and build 2 new ones, the largest ever constructed up to that time, to accommodate both ships. Their construction was facilitated by an enormous gantry built by Sir William Errol and Company, a Scottish firm responsible for the building of the Forth Bridge and London's Tower Bridge. The Errol gantry stood 228 feet, 69 meters, high, was 270 feet, 82 meters, wide and 840 feet, 260 meters, long, and weighed more than 6,000 tons. It accommodated a number of mobile cranes. A separate floating crane, capable of lifting 200 tons, was brought in from Germany. The Titanic was built by the Harland and Wolff shipyard in Belfast, Northern Ireland. It was one of 3 sister ships, the others being the RMS Olympic and the RMS Britannic. The Titanic was considered to be unsinkable by many people at the time because of its advanced technology and safety features, such as watertight compartments. The Titanic hit the iceberg at 11:40 p.m. on April 14, 1912, and sank at 2:20 a.m. on April 15, 1912. There were approximately 2,224 passengers and crew on board the Titanic, with a little over 700 survivors. The Titanic's sinking was a major news event at the time, and people around the world followed the story closely through newspapers and other media. The sinking of the Titanic has had a lasting cultural impact and has been the subject of many books, films, and other works of art. The 1997 film, Titanic, directed by James Cameron and starring Leonardo DiCaprio and Kate Winslet, is one of the most famous and successful movies of all time. Mysteries of Titanic. The sinking of the Titanic has given rise to many mysteries and theories over the years. Here are a few of the most notable ones. 1. The Titanic's speed. Some historians have suggested that the Titanic was traveling too fast when it hit the iceberg, and that this contributed to the severity of the collision. The ship was reportedly trying to set a new speed record on its maiden voyage, and some have speculated that this may have led to a lack of caution. 2. The role of the Titanic's captain. Captain Edward Smith was in charge of the Titanic when it sank, and some have questioned his decision-making in the hours leading up to the disaster. For example, Smith allegedly ignored iceberg warnings from other ships and did not order the lifeboats to be filled to capacity when the ship began to sink. 3. The actions of other ships. There were other ships in the vicinity of the Titanic when it sank, including the Californian, which was only a few miles away. Some have suggested that the Californian could have come to the Titanic's aid if its crew had responded differently to the distress signals. However, the exact details of what happened between the 2 ships are still unclear. 4. The Titanic's cargo. There have been rumors that the Titanic was carrying valuable cargo, such as a cursed mummy or a cache of diamonds, and that this may have played a role in its sinking. However, there is no evidence to support these claims. 5. The possibility of a conspiracy. Finally, there are some who believe that there was a conspiracy to sink the Titanic for financial or political gain. However, there is no credible evidence to support this theory, and it is widely regarded as a baseless conspiracy theory. The sinking of the Titanic remains a tragic event that has captivated the world for over a century. While there are many mysteries and unanswered questions surrounding the disaster, it is clear that the loss of life was a profound tragedy that changed the course of history. The legacy of the Titanic has been felt in many ways, from the development of new safety regulations to the enduring fascination with the story itself. It serves as a reminder of the fragility of human life and the power of the sea, and continues to capture the imagination of people around the world.